And who am I? That's not a secret I'll never tell. You know you love me. XOXO. Gossip Girl.
What's up? We got Gossip Girl. What's up? We got Gossip. What's up? Today we got Gossip Girl, Season 5, Episode 5, Fasting and the Furious. This episode starts off with Blair and Louis preparing to tell their parents about Blair's pregnancy. Serena receives a call from Jane asking her if she secured the movie rights to Dan's book. Serena says no, and Jane reminds her that this is her last chance to make up for blowing the last deal. Serena and Beatrice arrive at the Waldorf penthouse for Blair and Louis' big announcement. The couple comes downstairs and announces the news that they're pregnant. Everyone is that Blair's pregnant. Everyone is surprised and happy except for Blair's mom. Yeah, Eleanor is for some reason not happy that her daughter is pregnant, which is like, why? I guess because Eleanor's a terrible mom and basically abandoned, and did a lot of bad stuff. But still, shouldn't she be happy for her daughter that her daughter is having a baby with an actual nice guy? Yeah, happy nice guy. Nice, happy man. But still, yeah, Eleanor is hesitant with the news. Blair thanks Beatrice for keeping her secret. Serena prepares for work, but Blair invites her to stay and celebrate. Serena, obviously annoyed by how much she asked by her, annoyed Serena says she'll celebrate later with her and leaves. At the Waldorf, at the Vanderwoodsons, Charlie/Ivy is telling Lily how she's excited for her first day of work. She tells Dan calls Rufus and he ignores Dan calls Rufus, but Rufus ignores the call as he's still mad at Dan. Lily encourages Rufus to talk to Dan, but Rufus still says, yeah, no. After what happened and how Dan betrayed everyone in his new book, yeah, he doesn't want to talk to him. Meanwhile, Chuck and Nate run into Dan at the park. Nate's still peeved off at Dan for basically how he basically condensed him in his book, and not about making him gay, more condensing him in the book. Yeah. Well, Dan gives Chuck a present for Monkey, and he admits he's not sure what to do now that no one's talking to him. Chuck encourages him to wait it out. And Serena contacts Dan at the moment to meet. He leaves for the park, and Chuck then meets psychologist Elijah Barnes. He asks for her card and introduces himself. At the Spectator, Diana is getting ready for the launch of the site. Right before she can, a Gossip Girl arrives, accusing the paper of stealing phone for information. Nate tells Diana to delay the site because otherwise everyone knows Gossip Girl was talking about them. Diana ultimately decides to delay the launch for the moment. At the Waldorf, Blair shares the plan she and Louis made to make sure the pregnancy doesn't interfere with their plan. An upset Beatrice shares concerns with Sophie, but Blair not respecting the Monaco tradition. At their meeting, Serena apologizes for overreacting about her portrayal in the book, and asks how things are going. And Dan unhappily shares his loneliness. Serena mentions the movie's rights and tells Dan to consider giving the rights to Jane. He agrees, and he leaves to attend an interview with New York One and tells his agent Alessandra that he wants to give the rights to Serena and Jane, but she tells him, bro, I don't think you're making the right choice here. As she has more prestigious directors also interested. At the same time, Serena calls Jane and says they should have Dan movie rights by the end of the day. Yeah. Back at the Spectator, Dan accuses Ivy of, I'm not going to say Charlie because she knows she's Ivy. So, yeah, accuses Ivy of leaking the Gossip Girl. She threatens to reveal her scheme unless she can bring her a bigger piece of gossip. After hearing about the Waldorf, Jorn Kipper, she asks Nate to secure an invite. At the New York 1 set, Dan is getting ready for the interview. Alessandra tells him to mention Harvey Weinstein to get the Hollywood attention he needs. Dan replies that he feels like he needs to tell Serena ahead of time, but she encourages him not to. He should, because she's basically telling her boss, yeah, they have the movie rights. But Alessandra is basically telling him, no, you shouldn't give it to her, and you should give it to other good directors. So yeah, he should definitely tell Serena, but I guess his assistant's like, no, dude, don't. Let her find out let her find out, and let her be mad at you, because she's already mad at you, so, yeah. Yeah, and she knows how the business works, and Serena will understand. Actually, you have not met Serena. She does not take things well. At the Waldorf penthouse, Blair, Eleanor, Cyrus, and Louis, and Sophie, and Beatrice sit down to discuss details of the baby's upbringing. Blair shares that she plans to have the baby at Lenox Hill and will have them attend school at Constant. Sophie responds by saying that the baby must give birth at Princess Grace Hospital in Monaco and have the child attend boarding school in Switzerland as all Grimaldi children do. Of course, Blair overwhelmed that basically her mother-in-law is basically trying to control her baby's future. Like literally. Blair wants her baby to go to Constance because that's where she went. She wants her baby to go to Constance because that's where she went. While her mother-in-law wants her to go to a boarding school in Switzerland, and it's kind of all too confusing for Blair, overwhelming for Blair. Blair leaves the room. Beatrice tells Sophie to note how Blair reacts when she doesn't get her way. Yeah. Well, it wasn't that. It was just that she was overwhelmed. You were overwhelming her with all your information. Meanwhile, Chuck meets Dr. Barnes at her office. She agrees to let him talk, and he tries to flirt with her under the guise of a therapy session. She kicks him out for basically trying to flirt with a doctor, and she kicks him out as she has a young Kipper services to attend. Ivy / Charlie, I should say it now. Charlie / Ivy returns to the Vanderwoodsons and tells Lily she's worried about Rufus and Dan's relationship. Charlie / Ivy asks if she has any gossip. Lily goes to put, and she has none. Lily goes to put some jewelry away, and Charlie / Ivy spots the file Bart made on Lily, Serena, and Eric. Again, remember Eric, everyone. Yeah. The show basically doesn't talk about him anymore, except for that one mention in the 5th episode. Serena, she asks where they are, and Lily explains. At Shane's office, Serena sees Dan's interview about the movie rights, and he says he hasn't made a decision on the movie on who's getting his movie rights. Blair arrives and asks to talk to Serena. Serena's mad that she told Jane they have the rights, and now Dan's acting like they don't because yeah. Serena tells Blair that she can't talk and tells her to get out. Blair does and calls Louise, saying that since everyone else is moving on with their lives, she's ready to move to Monaco and live like a Grimaldi and fulfill her evil mother-in-law's dream of raising her first grandchild in Monaco. But yeah, of course, Serena thinks that Dan's telling people that Dan is acting like they don't, but he's not acting. He's just doing what his assistant told him to do. At the spectator office, Chuck goes to see Nate to ask how to do Dr. Barnes. Nate asks for help in finding the courage to cross a line to succeed. Nate advises Chuck to pretend to be interested in Dr. Barnes' interest, and Chuck advises Nate to tag along with Charlie/Ivy to cross the line. Each happy with getting help, Chuck leaves. At the Waldorf, Blair asks Louis if he told his mom about her decision. He says no, as he thinks they need to talk about things before they make any decision. However, Sophie and Beatrice walk in and on their conversation, and Blair tells them about her decision anyway. Delighted, Sophie hugs them both because she's like, yay, their evil plan worked, and Blair's moving to Monaco. At the Vanderwoodsons, Rufus and Lily can't decide what to do for dinner. Charlie/Ivy encourages them to go to the Waldorf dinner, and they decide to go. She also Charlie/Ivy receives a text from Nate, to which she tells him to come over. Back at the Waldorf, Beatrice meets Diana. She also reveals to Eleanor that Blair is planning to move to Monaco. However, Eleanor is unfazed, and she says it's not like Blair is signing a legally binding contract. Meanwhile, Jane informs Serena that Harvey and Dan are finalizing a deal and that they are going to lose the right. She accuses Serena of just being like she portrayed in the book. Outside, okay, Jane, calm down. Serena did not know this. This is Alessandra doing. She's taking control of Dan. Alessandra tells Dan that Harvey is already planning an idea and wants to fact track to the movie being released next year. However, she gets a call from Harvey, informing her that he's canceling due to Dan already giving the rights back to Jane. Yep, that's definitely Serena. Back at the Waldorf, Beatrice reveals to Diana that she's helped Louis marry Blair. She's helped Louis marry Blair, and he would potentially move out of the picture. Diana offers to help Beatrice get what she wants by making Louis marry Blair so he can get out of the picture and she can take over as the main person of Monaco. Yeah, so she'll give her what she wants as long as Beatrice gives Diana the inside on about the royal feud. Beatrice, of course, agrees to. At the dinner, Eleanor walks in on Cyrus, Blair, and Louis going over a contract Sophie drew up about the upbringing of the baby. Blair isn't concerned until Cyrus begins to read over some of the more outrageous terms, such as not being able to go to New York more than 48 hours at a time, and if she does, she'll lose custody of her child. Yep, that's definitely crazy. Yeah, I like how Eleanor tells Beatrice, Blair isn't the one. Yeah, Lily says that Blair is not like Blair to sign a legally unbinding contract. Then she walks in on Blair signing a legally binding contract. Irony. Irony. Just irony. Meanwhile, at the Vanderwoodsons, Charlie/Ivy is breaking into Lily's safe, but she's unable to do because until Nate gets her the code from Chuck and they get in and retrieve the file. Dan goes to see Serena at Jane's office, and Jane excitedly introduces herself to him, and he angrily asks why she had Serena leak that they had the right. Confused, Jane says she instructed Serena to do no such thing, as false leaks are amateur. Serena arrives and admits to sabotaging Dan's deal was her idea. Back at the Waldorf, Louis tells Beatrice about the contract, and she then confronts Sophie about it. She defends herself, saying it was a simple custody agreement. Louis tells her that she has no right to take their child away if she doesn't like Blair's action. Sophie becomes confused, saying that she had put no such clause into the agreement. Then she realizes, Beatrice did it. Because I guess that was in Diana's deal. Put it in behind your back. Beatrice comes in and admits to doing it, saying it's because Blair has no respect for the monarchy of tradition. Blair tells Sophie to remove the clause, but Sophie Seeing a point in Beatrice's action, takes her daughter aside and decides to say. She explains to the couple that if they don't sign the contract, she would not acknowledge Blair, Louis, or the child as her heir. Louis explains that she doesn't have the right anymore, and it's that child's right to acknowledge her. Hopefully I did a good French accent. Louis tells Sophie he wants her to not make a mistake. And she replies that he is mistaken. He should not have abandoned his family for Blair. Louis says he trusts Blair, but Sophie says she hopes that is true and leaves. Hopefully that's a good French, because I don't know actually French. But not before she tells Beatrice she will no longer be overlooked. Back before they leave, Beatrice and Diana smile at each other as their plan works. At Vanderwood's, Nate realizes he had a moral mistake crossing the line, and tells Charlie/Ivy that they need to put the file back. She tells him that unless he's willing to bend the rules, he'll never get anywhere. And he asks her why she's acting like she doesn't even know her family. Because she doesn't. Yeah. You know the reason why she doesn't know her family name? Because they're not even her family. She's a con artist, bro. And she's duping all of the Vanderwoods, and she's duping everyone on the Upper East Side, including you, Nate. And she tells him she's going to put the files back. Obviously, she's not, because she and Diana are probably working together. She's obviously not going to put the files back, and she's probably going to give them to Diana. So, yeah. And, yeah. I like how Nate says she's acting like she doesn't know her family, because they're not her family. That's just so funny. That's just so funny that Nate thinks that. Yeah, anyway, back to outside the church. Chuck meets with Dr. Barnes. She gives him her professional opinion on his action, telling him he acts out like a child because he never had childhood and has a long way to go before he can live a happy normal life. She wishes him all the best and walks away. At Jane's, Serena thanks Dan for waiting for her. He tells her that he's mad because now no one wants the book. But he explains that the girl in the book has parts of Serena, but isn't speaking some deeper truth about her. Sadly, Serena tells Dan that she always thought he was the love of her life, and he thought she was his too. At Diana's, the speculator launch, and Nate tells Charlie/Ivy, or more Charlie, that/Ivy, that Diana found something on her own, and he's glad they didn't have to cross the line to succeed. Diana then tells Charlie to come back to her office later, or/Ivy. Back at the Waldorf, Nate admits to Blair that if she gives Beatrice the idea to have a contract, she eventually tells Blair she will make an amazing mother, and gives her advice on raising children. Rufus and Lily overhear, and they decide to call Dan back. And Rufus decides to call Dan back. Rufus turns home and asks Blair if they can talk. Upstairs, she apologizes for earlier and says she was jealous because Blair is the star of Dan's book. Blair accepts her apology and reminds her that the book is more pure fiction. In Diana's office, she returns the files to Charlie/Ivy, revealing that Ivy took them anyway, and she tells her that she hasn't found nothing interesting in them, and tells her to return them before anyone notices them missing. Charlie/Ivy walks away, and Diana removes something from Bart's file, and then returns the files to her. Later, Serena receives a call from Dan. They talk, and he tells her he's given her the book breaks because she inspired the book in the first place. Rufus calls, interrupting their conversation, and they agree to talk later. Meanwhile, Chuck receives leaves a message for Dr. Barnes saying that she was right, that he does need help. And he's ready to get it. She gets to the phone too late, and after he's already hung up. Diana takes the thing she removed from Bart's file, a photo of a girl that strangely resembles Diana, and she burns the photo in her office. Blair apologizes for making Louis choose between her and his mother. He replies that she is his only family now. And when Blair takes it back, it's revealed that Louis found her DNA test results, and he calls Dr. Barnes and says that he has a problem that he needs to discuss with her. Ending the episode. So yeah, Diana's being weird and had that, and I guess Bart had a photo of her or a girl similar to her in his file. I like the joke that Nate's like, why is Ivy talking like she doesn't know her own family? Because, hint, hint, the Vanderwoodsons are her family. It's just funny that Nate's just so not right. He doesn't know the real truth and why she was acting like she doesn't know her family. But anyway, that's it for this. But anyway, next time we got season 5, episode 6. I Am Number 9, where Blair tries to figure out who will her bridesmaid be. Yeah, it's already the bridesmaid episode where Blair's figuring out who will be one of her bridesmaids. Or whatever. But anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time for season 5, episode 6, I Am Number 1. See you next time. You need to love me. XOXO, Gossip Girl.